Good morning. So nice to have you watch us for 3+U today. And pretty much no matter who you are, no matter what you are going through in life, either you or a friend of yours, somebody in your family, you're going to call them today and say, hey, I got to tell you about Jess Fletcher at Acu Chatt. She is opening up the show with us this morning, a pretty regular here on the show. But with her, she's brought Johnny Thornton, who has a pretty fantastic story of success that you found at Acu Chatt, right, Johnny?
Yes, ma'am.
But you weren't 100% sure going into it that it was going to work, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So Jess, you've been coming our way for a few months now, and every time you're here, I'm amazed at the scope of what you can do with acupuncture.
Thank you, yeah.
It shouldn't be a surprise because it's an ancient practice, and you are highly trained and educated in it.
Yes, I always tell people it's a whole system of medicine. So pretty much anything that we face, you're going to see a way to treat it. And with modern medicine, about 80% of the time, it can be your first line to kind of fix something that doesn't get help. And then you have that 20% of things that can't get help anywhere else, where we're actually the last line of defense.
So it seems like there's kind of this pivot, if you will, and this turning point now where a lot of people are really wanting to find their way back to holistic approaches to their healing, whatever that might look like. In Johnny's case, what was it that brought you to Jess?
Alpha-gal. Alpha-gal, I had allergic. I got bit by a tick, Lone Star tick. I've had it for 4+ years.
So for 4 years, you were trying, I guess, the conventional treatment, which is pretty much you had to not eat red meat. Is that right?
Right.
That must have been difficult.
Yes, ma'am.
Did it make you tired?
I would break out in hives, get really sick, and then for 24 hours, just felt like I'd been hit by a truck, really. So it just really depleted me. But yeah, I went and saw her.
So your wife had been, she kind of roped you in as wives will do, and you were afraid of the needles, like so many people can be. But what did you do for him? Because it worked after just a month.
Yeah, so we treated it using our SAT protocol, which is specific for allergies, where you identify the specific allergen. In this case, alpha-gal is one of them, but there's a lot of times a crossover allergy. So those mammalian meats, beef, pork, lamb, looked at bear, rabbit, pretty much anything mammal we had to look at to make sure there wasn't a crossover allergy with it. We identified which ones were still affecting him and his body would respond to, so treated those with the alpha-gal and gave him a homeopathic spray that he took also. And at the end of that time, he was testing negative for the alpha-gal reactivity.
And that was how long ago, Johnny?
That would have been about a month ago, maybe, month and a half. Yeah.
Okay, so the way this particular one works, you're not having to go in repeatedly over the course of the month. They come to you, Jess, and you put this in their ear, right?
Yes, exactly.
Go ahead.
So yeah, we put the needles in the ear, we cover them with a little Band-Aid and some surgical glue so the Band-Aid won't come off over that time, and then they just leave it in for 3 months. You don't really, or 3 weeks. Not months. You don't really feel it once it's in because of the where it's positioned, so you're not going to feel it when your ear moves. You can lay on your ear just like normal. The only thing you can't really do is go swimming or get an MRI.
Right.
But then it's pretty much you just live your life as normal, and at the end of that period of time, you take the needles out, and you should be safe to have whatever the
allergen is. So have you had a hamburger yet?
Oh yeah, went straight from her office to Tremont and got a burger and
and you were fine.
Yeah, no reaction. So
are you calling your friends all the time saying, man, I got to tell you about this, you won't believe it? You must feel like a convert.
It's life-changing for me. I mean, being able 4 years without any meat, and now last night I had a filet. I told Jess the first night I had that burger, I had one bite, nothing happened. That following night I ate 4 fillets. No
Making
sides.
up for lost time. A steak for every year, right?
Yeah.
So is it something, and I know that the science is behind it, Jess. Like I said, you're highly trained in all of this and you do your own research.
Yeah.
But we are individual people. So will some people's responses be different?
Not with this particular protocol. So as long as we can identify what the specific allergen is, we can treat it. The changes you see is like, say we didn't test for the other meat part of that allergy and we only treated the alpha-gal, you might have had an allergy to beef also and still have a reaction.
So that's where your what you do on the front side really plays into the results that you get.
Exactly.
Okay.
And with any case, like obviously his symptoms were pretty severe. If that's that severe, we want to be really, really cautious about going out and eating after. So we told him 1 bite, we made sure we were ready. We did it in the morning so we could catch anything. So I didn't want somebody to like go out and be like, oh, I can totally have this thing that gives me anaphylactic shock.
Sure.
But we want to make sure you're safe. We did a follow-up test to make sure he was testing negative before we tried it again to So we're just taking all the precautions that we can.
So I'll keep it with the allergy side. We won't get into other types of acupuncture. With the minute we have left, if you have, outdoor allergens, pet dander, if you have like a peanut butter or food intolerance still.
Yep. Again, with the severe reactions, we'd say be really careful. It's
Sure.
more meant to make sure you don't have to worry about cross-contamination as much as like go out and eat peanut butter if you have a peanut allergy.
Right.
But once you're exposed and you don't have a reaction, that kind of opens the door.
So here's how you get in touch with her, because like I said, I'm sure plenty of people watching are thinking, holy cow, that's me. But when you go on her website, acuchat.com, you'll see that there are different ways to make an appointment. For this one, you've got to do the allergy one, right?
Right. We do have to call in to schedule that appointment.
Yes, because you want to make sure that she's doing that pre-testing, and that way it works for you. So 708-5651 is the phone number.
Yes.
I wonder where you're going to go for lunch today, Johnny. Best burger in town.
I'm gonna have to go to Main Street Meats, I think, next after Tremont. But.
I didn't mean for you to answer, but that's great.
I'm a guy who lost a bet and my dignity. As if watching my team lose wasn't